You were snoring during the podcast, and I've got.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, you were.
Oh my god.
You were snoring during the podcast, and I've got.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, you were.
Oh my god.
You were snoring during the podcast, and I've got.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, you were.
Oh my god.
You were snoring during the podcast, and I've got.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, you were.
Oh my god.
You were snoring during the podcast, and I've got.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, you were.
Oh my god.
What's up, everybody? It's Nick here from the GamerAccess.com with Unscripted Access, episode number 15. On this week's show, we got Sarah Jefferson,
Ahoy, mateys.
Cammie Fortner,
Hi, guys.
Bridget Sexton,
Hello.
Danielle Kirk,
Hello.
and we've got a special guest on this week's show. We've got Sarah Gordon. Introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Sarah. Well, I am a PMS clan member since 2004. I also am a Fragdoll cadet, and I've been working in the gaming industry since I was 15.
There you go. So we're going to head into the news this week. ZombiU might make an appearance on the Xbox 360 thanks to SmartGlass. So I'm sure most of you guys are already aware of ZombiU. We did an interview while we were at E3. It looks pretty impressive. Honestly, I think it's the most impressive title that's going to be available on the Wii U. At least that's been shown at this point. The graphics look great. I like how they're implementing the tablet controller, and I like the whole idea behind it where you get hit once, you're dead. But if you die, you come back to life as a zombie. Like, I think that's pretty cool. I remember playing, and then Amy was one of the ladies I was working with there, and she had died, and I went to play, and I saw her in a zombie form. I thought that was really cool. Now, up to this point, people are looking at ZombiU as if it's a Wii U exclusive, and that's how it's been announced by Ubisoft. But please forgive me if I mispronounce his name, but Guillaume Bounier, the producer of ZombiU, recently stated that they're not necessarily married to the Nintendo Wii, and if Microsoft can pull off the smart glass feature with the Xbox 360 efficiently, there may be an opportunity there. I mean, smart glass, we saw what Microsoft was showing off at E3 during their press conference, but is this the type of game that you would expect to come to the Microsoft platform, and do you think it would do well? Like, do you feel that that's kind of Microsoft's audience, or do you feel that that's more of what Nintendo's reaching for? Because honestly, like a horror game, I don't see it doing too well on Nintendo. I honestly see it doing possibly better on the Xbox, but what do you guys think?
I think it'd be pretty good on Xbox.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how the whole smart glass feature works. I mean, yes, we saw it. Yeah,
well, if they can pull it off, I think it'd be good.
Yeah, I mean, because we saw it in action during E3, but they didn't. Pretty much what they showed is like Halo 4, for example, where you can view your stats and stuff while you're playing the game.
Well, who cares?
Yeah, I don't care about that. Like, I don't.
Like,
that makes no sense to me.
It's the dumbest thing. Yeah. Hold on. Let me check my stats as I continue to kill Covenant. Well, it's not even killing Covenant. It's like whatever the fucking new enemies are.
Right, and it's like I'm interested in seeing how they implement this whole smart glass feature. Just because, I mean, if they do it correctly, they could pretty much take everything Nintendo's invested with the Wii U and replicate that experience with
it's
a hardcore
so sad.
games.
I feel so bad for Nintendo. It's like, hey guys, we got something cool and new coming out now, and then Microsoft's like, yeah, well, so do we, and it's gonna be better. I mean, just from what we've seen, a lot of the stuff that Microsoft or Sony does, it's better than Nintendo's.
Right. And the crazy thing is they aren't even having...
let them have their moment of glory. Like, let them have their own thing.
But the crazy thing is, like, Microsoft's not even releasing a new console. Like, they're doing this with a console that's been on the market for over 6 years, whereas Nintendo's having to release a whole new device for this. Now, part of that's because the Wii's not high definition. They've got to jump into the high definition platform with the Wii U. But it's like, what Nintendo's doing, like, everyone's like, yeah, this is cool, but it's like, you got the Xbox 360. I mean, the PS3, even the PS3 with Vita. If you think about it, yes, the Vita is not as large as that tablet controller for the Wii U, but it's pretty much replicating the same experience that they're going after. So it's like, people calling the Wii U technology revolutionary. I don't quite agree with that. I mean, dual screens, it's like, I don't care what you say, your eyes are only going to be at one screen at a time. At the end of the day, you aren't going to have your screens on the tablet and the TV at one time. So, I mean, I kind of see where they're going with it, but at the end of the day, I think...
Well, that's one.
Huh?
You said at the end of the day, I'm counting.
Oh my god. So,
I'm counting.
anyways, but yeah, ZombiU, like I said, if it were a game and Microsoft were able to pull it off correctly, honestly, I'd be the one to check it on the Xbox 360 over the Wii U, because honestly, the Wii U, I'm not going to get it day one. Will I get it sometime in the future? I honestly don't know. I'm not a really big fan of the type of games that Nintendo offers. I'm more into what Sony and Microsoft offer. I'm more into that hardcore experience. I mean, yes, Mario's cool, Zelda's cool, Metroid's cool, but I don't want that. I want my God of War, I want my Uncharted, I want my Gears of War. Like, that's what I want. So,
no, just laughing thinking about Gears 3. That was a fun time.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, yeah. But,
But, like, I mean that Nintendo doesn't make games for, like, that core gamer anymore, though. Like, that's not their market. They realize that the casual market's a bigger, more widespread audience. They can sell more consoles if they pander to them. And I think that's really where their loyalties are lying for this last console generation, especially. And, like, I think that ZombiU, honestly, would succeed on the Xbox or on the PlayStation using the Vita or the SmartGlass technology, and it wouldn't sell as hot on the Wii U.
I mean...
I have to agree with her.
Yeah, like, the thing is, when I think of the Wii U and people buying the Wii U, I'm thinking of grandparents, younger kids, parents buying it for their kids. And when it comes to
Family friendly.
Right. And when it comes to looking at this retail store shelves, it's like, okay, what's going to be the first game? You're going to see these artsy looking games, and then you're going to see this zombie game. It's like, that's going to be a turn-off. Like, that I don't see. Whereas if that was the case with, like, Microsoft with the new Xbox or PlayStation, it'd be the complete opposite. So you got to kind of understand, like, what type of demographic they're going after. Like, on the Wii, what was that game? Help me. They had that weird art style. It was kind of like Gears of War. It was, like, all white.
Mad World.
Mad World. Thank you. Mad World?
You're welcome.
Thank you.
That's what I'm here for.
Mad World was actually a decent...
I hated it.
I thought it was a decent game. But regardless...
It was too repetitive.
Well, yeah, I can agree with that. But I think part of that's because of how you had to play the game. Having to use that stupid Wii...
Hack and slash.
Yeah.
Literally hack and slash with your hands with the Wii remote. It was awful.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Nintendo ruins video games.
We just coughed. That was the funniest cough I've ever heard.
Whereas, I think a game like that, if it was implemented with the DualShock 3 or the Xbox controller, it would work much more efficiently, and that's your type of audience that you're reaching out for. Whereas, I mean, Ubisoft is heavily supporting the Wii U. Like, it's obvious they have a strong support for the Wii U, and they pretty much want to be the main publisher for that platform at its launch. But a game like ZombiU, while it's impressive, it looks great, the gameplay mechanics are awesome. I got to play it at E3, and the idea behind it is spot on. You got to realize what platform you're putting it on. And
a lot of the Ubisoft games that I have promoted on the Wii have been family-friendly games such as Just Dance, but a lot of the people who I know own Wiis at least have kids, and they're still in that demographic of them playing Xbox and PlayStation first-person shooters. So I feel like when the kids are asleep or not playing, I feel like they hop on the Wii U and play ZombiU just as much as if they'd played on the Xbox.
Right, you don't think they would? You don't think they would jump from the Wii to the Xbox or PlayStation, expecting that, okay, this is a more hardcore platform? Like, I know how it is with my little brother. Anyways, my little brother, he has a Wii. He loves the PlayStation 3. He loves the Xbox, but he kind of differentiates. He's like, okay, if I want that more casual experience, I'm gonna play my Wii. If I want that hardcore experience, I'm gonna play it on my Xbox or PlayStation. Like, I don't like. Yes, I can kind of see where you're coming from there, but at the end of the day, like ZombiU, I just don't see it fitting into the demographic that Nintendo's going after. Like, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how the sales come out. Like, I'm curious to see how the Wii U even sells in the first place.
I think it'll do a lot better on the, on like the most popular systems such as Xbox and PlayStation. Like, I think it would do more, like better in
stuff that
sales,
everyone already has in their living room.
better gameplay, like better, better control game, really, not the gameplay, but the control over it.
Well, and I love, zombie stuff, but I also feel like that idea might be getting a little bit tired at this point, too. I mean, everyone has done zombie something. So.
But ZombiU brings that new stuff to the table where, like, you die and then you replay as a different character and you see, like, the aftermath. You see that character and how they've transformed into a zombie. And I think I've also heard some stuff about how you're able to get any loot and stuff that you had collected off of that zombie if you're able to defeat it. And, like, they're kind of, like, stronger than other zombies. And, like,
it's done well.
New. I'm really excited for ZombiU. And, like... But honestly, like, Ubisoft has a really strong lineup for the Wii U, like Nick mentioned, but I think that the games that are really going to be selling on the Wii U are going to be the stuff like Rayman. Like, the Rayman demo was great that they showed, and, it's a family-friendly game, families can pick it up. Yeah, for sure, all that stuff is going to sell. But ZombiU, like, I work at a game store, and people who come in every day, like, the customers who are, asking about the Wii don't know about the Wii U because they're all casual gamers, and all the customers who already know about the Wii U are kind of like, the Wii U, I don't know, we'll see, maybe I'll buy it in a couple of years. I think that Nintendo needs a stronger lineup at launch in order for it to sell.
Yeah, that's what people buy the Nintendo platform for. Like, if you look at the sales, like Wii software sales, third-party games don't sell. They don't sell. It's the first-party games.
They're mostly shovelware, too.
Oh, yeah. If you look at the top-selling games on Wii, they either have these words in them: Mario, or
Dance.
Mario, Zelda, or Dance, or Fit. Like Wii U Fit Plus, whatever they called it or whatever, that's probably going to sell through the roof. I remember when Wii Fit first came out, you couldn't find it anywhere. People were selling it on eBay for like 4 times the price, and people were buying it. It's like, those are the type of experiences that that's what they need to pursue. And I kind of feel bad for Ubisoft because they have such a great idea, such a great game, and I just don't see it doing well. I hope I'm wrong. Like, I would love to be wrong. Like, I would love for it to come out, and hey, it's the top-selling Wii U game, day one. That would be awesome. But I understand that this is the real world here, and I understand what people are going after the Wii U. And, I could be completely wrong. I'm just viewing it how I seem to see things. And like you said, Ubisoft is pushing the Wii U harder than anyone else. Yes, Nintendo's going to have their Marios and their Zeldas, but they're not going to be available at launch. And I feel like that's going to mess Nintendo up, because when people are talking about buying a Wii U day one, they're looking for Mario. They're looking for Zelda.
Oh, definitely.
Pikmin 3 is supposed to come out sometime around the launch of the Wii U. That could help, because there hasn't been a new Pikmin in such a long time. I'm not even counting the remake on the Wii. I'm talking about a completely new Pikmin game. Pikmin 2 came out, forever ago. So actually seeing that could help, but still, you don't see Mario, you don't see Luigi, you're not going to see Link, you're not going to see Zelda, you're not going to see these characters that have built the Nintendo fan base. And I think it's going to hurt them at launch.
Like, honestly, too, with Pikmin, I don't even think that's going to help a lot, because Pikmin's, like, we can't even remember when the second one came out. It's a dead series now. Like, it doesn't have characters that kids can look at and recognize and say, Mommy, Daddy, I want this system, I want this game. It's a dead franchise at this point, and it's unfortunate because it was original, it was good, but, it's not something that kids are going to be asking for at Christmas. They're going to say, what is this? I have no idea what this is. Until they see one of their buddies playing it because their parents picked it up at, the recommendation of a local game store employee.
Right. Like, honestly, if I was Nintendo, I would have made sure that I would either have one of these 3 titles available day one. A Mario, a Zelda, or Super Smash Brothers. I would make sure I had one of those 3 preferably Super Smash Brothers. Like,
I think a lot more people are starting to realize what the Wii U is, though, because Nintendo is having a lot of private events for the people part of Club Nintendo. So I think those kids are starting to realize that the Wii U's there. I personally am probably not going to buy a Wii U, but never know.
Yeah, I don't see myself purchasing a Wii U anytime soon. I'm not gonna say if ever. I mean, I'm sure I eventually will, but I'm also seeing I want to see what they price it at. I think they're gonna price it at $300. That's my estimate, and I don't know how that's gonna go with the Nintendo audience. I mean, we saw how the 3DS turned out. $250. No one bought that. No, and it's what they do. They dropped it to $170, and when they dropped the price, you couldn't even find them. So, I mean, we'll wait and see. Nintendo's already said that they're not going to run into that same mistake with the pricing error. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But you got to keep in mind, Nintendo's not a company like Sony or Microsoft that's willing to take a hit on their hardware. Sony and Microsoft will sell their consoles for a loss day one, make it up on accessories and software. Nintendo does not do that. They make profit from the gate. You got to keep that in mind. Yes, the tablet is not really, it doesn't have too much hardware in it because it's literally just an external display. It's not really powering the games. The actual box is still powering it. But the cost of these, like, I want to know how much an additional tablet controller is going to cost. Like, yes, you can use 2 of them. But it's like, yeah, how much is that additional tablet controller going to cost? Is it going to be $100? Like, that's what I want to see. Because you got to understand, like I said, Nintendo's going to want profit from the gate. Keeping that in mind, unless they found a really efficient way to produce this hardware at an incredibly affordable price, do not expect this to be offered at Nintendo's typical pricing. Unless they decide to go a different route and say, okay, we'll take a cut. We'll take a hit these first couple months or first year and make it back on software. We'll just have to wait and see. But we should definitely have some Wii U related content on thegamerx.com. Relatively soon, we have a couple people from the site that are actually going to a Wii U event in Chicago. I believe, Cammy, you're going, correct?
Definitely, yeah.
Emily's going, and then Sarah, Gordon, you're going as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so definitely look for some form of coverage on thegamerx.com coming soon on the Wii U. I checked it out at E3. Was pretty impressed with it. Like, it's cool, but I'm not going to be the one rushing out to purchase it either. I'll just sit back and see how it does, and if it does well, cool. If not, I'm sure Nintendo will find a way to bounce back. But moving on from the Wii U, the PlayStation 3 4000. We talked about it briefly last week about how the PS3 is going to experience yet another slim down and how it had been passed through the FCC. Well, now more information has come out, including actual images of the console. The biggest change is that there's no longer a disc loading slot. Rather than the disc actually being pulled out of the console like the current PS3 models, the rumored, it's still technically rumored, but at this point it's all but confirmed. The new PS3 model appears to have a slide or a top loading tray. I don't know how you guys feel about that. I'm personally not a fan of the whole tray idea, just because the discs are, I feel like they're not as secure spinning in something like that, and I feel like it's cheaper made rather than just having the console suck the disc in. That's how I prefer it anyways. But I understand Sony's kind of going after that more affordable production state where they want to produce it at a lower cost so they can provide it to customers for a lower price. Along with those images, there's been, through the FCC once again, it's been uncovered that there's going to be available in 16 gigabytes, 250 gigabytes, and 500 gigabytes. Don't know about you guys, but has Sony not learned from Microsoft's mistake? Why are you releasing a 16 gigabyte machine? That makes 0 sense. People say, oh, well, you can upgrade the hard drive. Yes, but you gotta understand, most people that buy these consoles don't have that knowledge or even think about upgrading the hard drive in there, because I'm not saying it's difficult to do. It's not. But it's not as easy as Xbox 360 where you just pop it on and off. Now, yes, you lose the fact that, well, if you don't upgrade an Xbox 360 hard drive, unless you heavily modify it, you're going to have to pay more for that proprietary hard drive. Whereas with PS3, you can use any 2.5-inch serial ATA drive, but it's a little bit more complicated. You have to have some knowledge on how it works to upgrade the hard drive. 16 gigabytes, yes, that's 4 times the amount of the minimum Xbox 360. But look at a game like Gran Turismo 5. You play Gran Turismo 5, that installs over 8 gigabytes. You play Metal Gear Solid 4, well, guess what? You've just filled up your hard drive. I mean, that makes no sense to me. And the thing was, so the Xbox 360 originally had consoles that did not even offer hard drives. No hard drives at all. And that hurt the developers because the developers could not require or form any type of installation whatsoever, which would cause longer loading times, lag. Because if they required some form of installation to the drive like many PS3 games, then they would screw over a lot of customers. Because they would get the game home and be like, oh, well, you need a hard drive. So you're telling me I have to go buy a hard drive to play your game? Like, they're going to look at the developer and the publisher wrongly for that. Also, keep in mind, Halo 4 is coming out. And how much space did they say it's going to require to play online? It's like 8 gigabytes or something ridiculous like that. So people that are buying the 4 gigabyte Xbox 360 are screwed. They have to upgrade space on their machine if they want to play online. So why do you think Sony has seen this happening? Sony has consistently said, hey, every console you have will have a hard drive. And yes, 16 gigabytes is technically space, but most phones have more than 16 gigabytes of storage nowadays. Storage is insanely cheap right now. Like, I understand you want to cut costs, but 16 gigabytes? To me, that at least seems ridiculous. I mean, what do you guys think?
Sometimes some people need to replace their devices. I don't know much about PlayStation, but I know one time I needed to buy an arcade version of the Xbox, and then I switched out the hard drives. But I would say, yeah, that's a pretty low amount of gigabytes for the amount of space games are taking up these days.
Honestly, for the PlayStation 3, like replacing the system and replacing your hard drive would be a pain in the ass. You have to like physically take apart the current PlayStation 3 Slim model, and you'd have to like take the laptop hard drive out. It's the laptop hard drive, and you have to install it after taking apart the new model PlayStation and put that hard drive in there. It'd be way more trouble than it would be worth to just stack that stuff up on, like an external hard drive. Like 16 gigabytes is an absolute ripoff with the PlayStation stuff. Like you put the disc in, and it's installing for an hour. Like it forces you to install that data before you can even play the game. And I feel like a lot of people are going to get shafted by going to like non-specialty retailers where they're not going to tell them these things. And they're going to be stuck. They're going to be between a rock and a hard place. They're not going to know how to upgrade the hard drive. They're going to be frustrated and upset with Sony.
Right, like, I really don't understand it because we all know, like, storage gets cheaper by the day. I mean, look at laptop hard drives, like, even if it was just 120 gigabytes, like, you get 120 gigabyte laptop hard drives so affordable. And then you gotta look at Sony's side of things. They're mass purchasing these. Like, that makes no sense.
Oh, for sure.
It's like, okay, so you release this, let's say they get the 16 gigabyte out. Let's just say $200, which honestly for 16 gigabytes, I would hope they would release it at $150, to be honest with you. But let's say $200, whereas you could spend the extra for Sony, maybe $7-8, and you say, yeah, $7-8 times however many million they sell. I understand how that works, but it's you either spend the extra $7-8 per console, or you have a fan base which gets pissed off with you, or they may not even be a fan base. They may be people that are extremely passionate about the Xbox, and they're like, oh, okay, $150, $200, I'll give the PlayStation a chance. They buy it, they start running into all these issues because they're running out of storage space, and then guess what? You just lost a customer that you could have had because you wanted to cheap it out $7-8. Like, that makes zero sense to me, especially after you see what Microsoft has went through. Like, Microsoft releasing Xbox 360 without a hard drive was the worst mistake they've had, and developers have said that for years. We've had developers complaining about that for 3-4 years, and then to see Sony, like, it isn't officially confirmed, but to see it go through the FCC, it's in the FCC for a reason. So it's all but confirmed to the state. And it's like, what the hell is Sony thinking? Like, you would think they would learn from Microsoft's mistake here. And it's like, because 16 gigabytes is nothing. If this was the PlayStation 2 days, yeah, 16 gigabytes is a ton. Or even at launch. When the PS3 first launched, they had a 20 gigabyte PlayStation 3. At the time, that seemed reasonable. But Metal Gear Solid 4 wasn't out. Gran Turismo 5 wasn't out. We didn't have all this downloadable content. Let's be honest, with the PlayStation 3, how many of the games require an install? Most of them. And how large are these installs? At least 2 gigabytes. At least 2 gigabytes. So now you're going to have people having to delete their data because they want to play another game. When they go back to the game, they've got to reinstall it, but delete another thing off their hard drive. It's like, Sony, what like, I want to know who made this decision. Like, I understand if you're buying your PlayStation 3 primarily as like a Blu-ray player to stream internet content, to play the typical game every now and then, I can understand that. But you gotta understand, in the day, oh my god, she didn't catch it. But that customers are going to, over time, that's going to continuously build up on their hard drive, and they're going to get caught. And they're like, okay, time to upgrade a hard drive. And like I said, it's not difficult. Like, it's not extremely difficult for me because, I mean, I know technology. But you take your general consumer, and they might break the console. Like, it's not worth it.
Yeah, and I mean, they're going to look at the cheaper price and go, ooh, this one's cheaper, and they're going to buy it, and then they're going to realize how much memory it has, and be like, I'm angry, even though they should have, done their research and everything. But, I mean, that's how general consumers are.
Right, and
they just look at prices.
Yeah, and you got to look at it from, like, a parent or a grandparent's aspect. I mean, obviously, for, like, you guys, I mean, some of you guys have kids, it's kind of different because you understand, you have that knowledge. But, most parents don't. And when a kid's
they don't know at all.
And you work at GameStop, Cammy. You know better than you know better than all of us.
You guys do just how terrible it can get.
So
mom's coming in and they're always like eyeing up that 4 gigabyte Xbox, and I say, look, by the time your kid downloads one Call of Duty map pack, which they're gonna want coming out next month, then you will be sucked on hard drive space, and you'll be back in here spending $130 on that 320 gig hard drive. Or you can spend the extra $100 now and buy them an extra game with that $30.
Right.
So people are instant consumers. It's now. They want it now.
Yeah.
And they can't wait until they want it now. It's payday, and they can't save their money. They can't manage money. I see this all the time.
Yeah, because what's going to happen is kids are like, oh, I want a PlayStation 3, and they walk in and they see that cheap one. Okay, they get that console. Because they don't understand, 16 gigabytes, that's fine.
They're technologically impaired. The generation above us is. I mean, they just look at prices and saving money. They don't think about what they're getting, really, until they have it.
Right.
It's so bad. I see kids coming in, they've saved up all their money, mowing lawns and stuff for the whole year, and they've got $200, and then they get that 4 gig Xbox, and then they can't do half as much as what, they can't do anything they want to do with it.
Yeah, I really...
It's with the PlayStation now.
Like, if this was like a day one launch of the PlayStation 3, it would seem fine. But you have... What really hits my nerve is the fact that we have seen developers complain to Microsoft because they released a console without a hard drive. And yes, you technically have space, but 16 gigabytes is nothing. That is absolutely nothing, especially when you have games. Like I said, if someone gets a 16 gigabyte PS3, they play Gran Turismo 5. More than half of their hard drive's gone. You gotta keep in mind, 16 gigabytes, when it's formatted, you're probably talking about 14 and a half.
It's like if you're gonna play like one game at a time, and then like delete every all your files and then start over, and that's just frustrating.
Wait an hour for it to install every time you put the game in. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it's also a bad move on Sony's part because they're really pimping this PlayStation Plus. And I can tell you guys, as a PlayStation Plus subscriber for about the last 8 or 9 months, my hard drive is full.
Because how much content they give you?
There's so many free games, and they're not going to be able to sell this PlayStation Plus if people don't have the hard drive space for it. And but thinking about the PlayStation as compared to the Xbox. The PlayStation is more of a general, overall media player. There is Amazon Video on it. There is Hulu Plus. It is a Blu-ray player. You get your Netflix. You get everything on there. It's a more all-inclusive media player than the Xbox, compared to the Xbox. But, that might be an option just for the people who purely want to stream and have a Bluray player. It's one of the best Blu-ray players on the market. But And that $50 means a lot to a lot of people. They come in and see the Xbox is $200 at its lowest price point, and the PlayStation is $250 at its lowest price point, and they say, "Well, I'm going to go with Xbox for that $50." So it might be a good marketing move on Sony's part, but I think that in the end they're just going to piss off a lot of consumers.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. With Gamescom is less than a month away. For anyone who does not know, it's the big gaming event for Europe. It's pretty much their E3. It's not as big as E3, but it's continuously getting bigger. And Sony always has a big press conference, and that's when the current PS3 Slim was actually announced. It was 2009 at Gamescom. That's when they announced the PS3 Slim, and then its price of $299. So with them doing this, we're going to see a price cut. I mean, we have to see a price cut if they're doing this. 16 gigabytes, like I said, I really hope they don't release it at $199, because I feel that, $150, I can give them some slack. But if they release the 16 gigabyte at $199, you're pretty much you're trying to one-up Microsoft by saying, oh, we got 16 gigabytes instead of 4. But it's like, yeah,
I have a feeling it's going to be $199.
Yeah.
I have a real strong feeling it'll be $199.
I don't like that. And then it's like, okay, so you've won up Microsoft, but it's like, think about it this way. Microsoft uses DVDs. You use Blu-ray. These games on your console, these exclusives, take a whole lot more space. And it doesn't make sense, because if you think about it, the current PS3 that's $249, it comes with a 200, what size hard drive does it come with?
160 for $250.
Okay, 160 for $250. So what they're gonna do? The 250 gigabyte for $250 and the 500 for $300. I guess that's what they could do. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see Gamescom. Definitely looking forward to it. But what do you guys think about the look? Like, seeing the pictures that have been released on the internet, assuming that these images are real, how do you personally feel about the aesthetics, the overall appeal of the new PS3?
Well, I think it looks really slick. Anything that, saves space is a big deal when you have mountains upon mountains of video games. But, I also wasn't a big fan of the manual, like the actual tray ejecting. That's one of the things that I really dislike about the Xbox. But I feel that really would cure a current problem with the current slim model of the PlayStation 3, which is that the manual disc eject is virtually impossible to do. So if your system breaks, your game goes along with it for the most part.
Right.
What do you guys think of it?
Yeah, I agree. Like, I don't like the whole tray idea. Like, it just seems cheap to me. Like, it may not be cheaper for them to do, but it just seems cheap to have that plastic tray slide out. You put your disc in there and it slides back in. I'd rather just put the disc in there and it automatically, it's like a vacuum, it just takes it in, rather than, especially if you gotta like open it up from the top, and I can see people breaking the doors off, and like I like the look of it. It doesn't really look much different than the current PS3 Slim. The only thing that's really different is the tray, and then the top's got like a rigid look to it. Other than that, it may not even be slimmer. It may be very slightly, but
now I'm thinking about it too. If it's top loading too, that's going to encourage a lot of people to stand their systems up vertically, which is like a huge pet peeve. It's bad business standing your consoles vertically.
Right.
Yeah, it's bad for the discs.
It doesn't matter with the PlayStation 3 because they're all coated in Teflon, but your cat knocks your system over, or heavy gusts of wind, it's got a higher center of gravity, that way it's more likely to knock over.
Yeah, I've always had my consoles laying flat. That's how I feel that they should be set up. But yeah, if you have that tray, that's just, you're asking for the Xbox 360 issue where it just scratches the hell out of your disc. Now, yes, Blu-rays...
That doesn't happen on PlayStation, though.
Right. The part of the reason for that as well is the fact that Blu-ray discs are substantially more durable than DVDs, plus it's how the PS3 drive works. So I hope Sony isn't cheaping out too much on the drive to where they run into those issues. At least I'd hope not. I'm sure Sony's invested into the R&D for it, so I would not expect that. But at the end of the day, it's kind of really one of those things that I'll have to see the console in person. Because it's just like with the PS3 Slim, when those leaked images came out, people are like, oh, this is fake because it looks like shit. And it did. I was like, there's no way this is real. But then you see it in person, and it's like, this is tolerable. I mean, yes, I still think the original PS3 design was the most attractive. But at the end of the day, I'm not looking at my console when I play it. I'm looking at my television. Like, I'm not... I mean, yes, it's fine. It's cool, and it gives you that initial appreciation if it's an attractive box. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. One thing I would like to see is I would like to see them bring back backwards compatibility with the new PS3. I don't think they're going to do it, though, unfortunately. And that would kind of seem weird. It's like, so you release your PS3 with backwards compatibility, then you take it out, you release the PS3 Slim, and then you add it back. Like, I don't know how consumers would take that. It's like, so we purchased your remodeled PS3 and you're remodeling it again and then adding backwards compatibility. Like, it seems like a good thing, but then it almost feels like they're kind of screwing over their customers that invested in their platform in the first place. I mean,
it might sell better if they did. I mean, that would be kind of like a selling point for some people.
Yeah, and at that point...
But for me.
Yeah, I mean, because I mean, at the end of the day, you could be like, oh, you can get a PS2 cheap. It's cutting down on how many boxes you have.
Right.
Like, my entertainment stand is ridiculous with the stuff I have on here. I'm literally utilizing every single inch of this thing. Like, I'm looking at it now, and like, I could not fit another box. I don't have a PlayStation 2 hooked up. I'm one of those people where I'm not it's hard for me to go back, and I understand like a whole lot of people, they love going back to older games, but it's hard for me to do that, so it doesn't really impact me. But I know a ton of people who want to go back and play Shadow of the Colossus, the original God of War 2, Jak and Daxter, the Ratchet and Clanks.
Okay. All right, but let me tell you why this is going to happen. They re-released all of those in HD versions, new games that are in print now,
which
that you can go to the store and purchase, which will give Sony more money. The backwards compatibility thing, Nintendo's even dropped it from the newest models of the Wii. The ones that you currently buy in the store brand new, they don't even have backwards compatibility. Companies add the backwards compatibility to sell their console at launch because they know it's not going to have a ton of titles at launch, and they know that they need a reason for consumers to go out and buy this. And, you know, it looks like a better investment. And you're like, yeah, you know, I'll still be able to play my older games on it, and I'll be able to use my older controllers, yada yada. But, like, all that PS2 stuff's out of print. Sony has nothing to gain by adding backwards compatibility back in.
Well, but
literally no thing to gain.
But gamers still have their PS2 collection. Like, while they may have stopped print, people who had a PlayStation 2 and invested in all those games might
but
still
Sony
have
has no incentive to add it.
Well,
I mean, if they added that, I would want to get one. If they don't add that, I'm kind of like, meh, whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
PS3.
Financially, you're right. But if you ask me, that's kind of screwed up that you had these people invest so much money into your platform and then you kind of just abandon it. Like, understand, like, it may not make Sony more money, but that is what establishes your fan base and what establishes customer loyalty. And sometimes customer loyalty is more important than how much more dollars you're making on per unit sold. Like, customer loyalty is huge.
Not the shareholders at the end of the day.
Unfortunately, I'm not going to get...
They always cater to.
Unfortunately, that's the business world. Unfortunately.
I'm a perpetual business pessimist. But, like, honestly, though, like, even outside of all that, like, I don't even think it's a thing with the fan base. Like, either, you know, someone's already purchased a PS3 and, you know, they love it or they hate it, or, you know, they haven't. There isn't, you know, that extra push, that extra incentive for people to buy it because it, you know, has PlayStation 2 backwards compatibility. Like, and that's kind of what we do. You know, we abandon old technology. It's not like Apple's still selling, you know, the iPhone 1 at any, you know, at AT&T or anywhere. It's not like Sony's still going to be supporting an old technology. It just doesn't make sense. No one would want it. It's outdated, obsolete.
I don't know. Like, I personally would not care if they had backwards compatibility, but I can see from some people's perspectives that I can see that being a selling point. It's just like Bridget brought up. If they did it, she would want to purchase it. I remember when the PlayStation 3, I remember the last bundle that was backwards compatible was that Metal Gear Solid 4
Metal Gear
bundle. When they announced that they didn't really announce, they kind of did it and people found out that they were removing backwards compatibility, those bundles started selling double the retail price. And why? Because people want to play their older games on their PlayStation 3. And then you also implement this technology into the PlayStation 3 where it makes your PS2 games look better, and then you just halfway through the console's life cycle, you're like, screw it, we're no longer supporting games. So it's like you've invested and implemented that feature, and now it has no weight whatsoever. Like, end of the day, I'm a PlayStation fan. I'm loyal to their brand, and I mean, I'm open. Like, obviously, I have an Xbox. Like, I'm not a fanboy by any means, but end of the day, I can understand people getting upset by the fact that Sony has just completely cut off their PS2 game collection. And people say, well, they could have bought a PS3 day one. It's like, well, first of all, they were expensive at first, so maybe they didn't have the money to afford it, or the console broke down on them. I mean, people might have spent. There might have been people that bought the Metal Gear bundle, paid double or triple the price. Well, guess what? The console stopped working on them. They're screwed. Unless they want to go pay double or triple the price again. Like, they would be so upset. And, like, I remember when my fat model, the original PS3 model I had, it was backwards compatible and everything. It died on me. Had to get the PS3 Slim. And I personally wasn't upset. Because I'm like, I'd never played a PS2 game. I mean, I did it once or twice, but I never really played PS2 games on it. So I didn't really care. But if I did, I'd have been pissed off. I'd be like, I don't want a slim console. I want my console fixed. And depending on what goes wrong with it, having it fixed may not have been an option. So, that's the way I look at it. But curious to hear what you guys have to say. Gamescom, like I said, is less than a month away, so we should have all the details very soon. Continuing on with the news, Battlefield 4 was officially announced actually today, well, yesterday, depending on what time zone you're on. Battlefield 4 was announced by Electronic Arts. It kind of came out kind of weird. So Medal of Honor, the new game from EA releasing this year, the first-person shooter, Medal of Honor Warfighter, they released a trailer, and it kind of slipped in there that, oh, hey, Battlefield 4, you're going to have access to the beta if you pre-order the limited edition of Medal of Honor Warfighter. Now, the crazy thing about this is, okay, Medal of Honor Warfighter is coming out the fall of 2012. The beta for Battlefield 4 isn't available to fall of 2013. So, they're getting people into the beta a full year before the beta launches, which I think that's ridiculous. It's obviously, they're using it as a selling point to where it's like, okay, they're trying to convince people to go from the standard version of buying Medal of Honor to go into the limited edition just so they can be in that beta. Because, like, I hate to say it, but, like, companies...
Wait.
What's that?
The limited edition is something that EA always does. It's the same price as the regular edition. It's just only available at certain retailers, and it's only available to people who buy it at launch. Like, once that first run is gone, then it's just regular edition after that. But it'll be the same price as the regular game.
Okay.
It's just get people in and buy it at launch. It'll be the same price.
Okay, so that must be what they're talking about with the pre-order then. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, there you go.
Raccoon City.
Right, but it's still...
EA does it with all of their games.
Yeah, I remember them doing that
They
with
did it with
Battlefield
Assassin's
3
Creed.
now. I remember when I bought
Yeah.
Battlefield 3, it was a limited edition
You got
or
the
whatever.
back car stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But still,
There we go.
a full year, a full year. Now, this is not a full year before the game launches. This is a full year before the beta goes live. I think that's a bit absurd. It's like, this game's probably a very early development. Obviously, if they aren't playing in a beta for another year, it's probably alpha, pre-alpha, and you're already getting people involved with it. I mean, I'm not necessarily saying that's a bad thing. I mean, EA, other companies are doing it where, like, buy this game and we'll get you into this beta, or buy this game and you'll get exclusive access to this demo. Like, they're doing that. All these companies are doing, well, not all of them, but most of these companies are utilizing their own platform to market their other games. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I mean, Infamous and Uncharted, they had that partnership. Sony's even done it with a couple movies, like, what was that movie? Battle Los Angeles, that terrible movie, where if you bought Battle Los Angeles, you got access to the Resistance 3 demo early. The movie was terrible, but I hate to say it, but
Yeah,
I know a couple people who bought the Blu-ray movie just so they could get early access to that Resistance 3 demo.
Yeah, they also did that with District 9 and God of War 3.
Yes, that was the other partnership they did.
Dragon's Dogma has the Resident Evil 6, but I mean, that's Capcom, but I mean, it was kind of cool. It had the demo on there.
Yeah, it's cool. Like, including the demo on there, that's fine. But I think, like, for a beta, if you're doing it for a beta, like, more than 6 months out, it's kind of crazy. I understand you got to start marketing it as soon as possible. But honestly, I think I would forget. Like, I'd buy and be like, oh, cool, I'm being the Battlefield 4 beta. A year later, I don't think I would be thinking about it. Like, with how many games are coming out next year, especially, there's so, like, next year is going to be packed. I mean, just look at the first couple months. We've got Dead Space 3, Bioshock Infinite. I'm sure that's when we'll see. Yeah, the new God of War comes out. Like, there's
Devil May Cry.
Yeah, Devil May Cry. That's when we're gonna see The Last of Us, Grand Theft Auto 5, Metal Gear. Like, the list. Oh, but Metal Gear. Oh, I'm so upset. Oh.
The title is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. But, I mean, regardless, there's going to be so many games, and there's so many games that we don't even know about yet that are going to be coming out next year. It's going to be packed. So, it's not going to be like, it's not going to be a dead year where people are like, oh, I'm looking forward to the Battlefield 4 beta. Like, yes, I love Battlefield 3. I love Battlefield Bad Company 2. I feel Battlefield 3 was one of the best first-person shooters this console generation. One of the best, not the best. Make sure I clear that up before someone starts flipping out. But I'm looking forward to Battlefield 4. I like what EA and DICE is a beast. Their Frostbite engine is incredible as far as the destruction of environments and buildings. Like, that's one of the things I really like about Battlefield versus your Call of Duty freaking Michael Bay themed video game. But I mean, we'll have to wait and see how it turns out. I mean, are you guys looking forward to Battlefield 4? Were you guys fans of Battlefield 3?
I mean, it's only been out since October 2011. I don't really see why they're already making a fourth one. There's still a lot of people playing the third.
Well, I wouldn't say they're Activision because this is the thing. Yes, it came out October of 2011. They're just announcing that they're making a Battlefield 4. It's not coming out till they say the beta's fall of 2013. So I'd assume they're going for the holiday season of 2013. That's 2 years. I think releasing a first-person shooter every 2 to 3 years is fine. It's when you have Call of Duty that comes out every single year. Now, yes, I understand you have two different development houses. Well, at least it used to be that way, whereas Infinity Ward and Treyarch. But still, it's the fact that we have a new Call of Duty every single year. This isn't Madden. This isn't FIFA. And it shouldn't be. Like, I'm not a fan of even the sports games coming out with a game every year. I think that they should release $60 game and then have like a $20, $30 upgrade or whatever. But, of course, they're not going to do that because it's all about the paycheck. And EA knows that people are going to buy Madden every single year. When Madden launches, like, it's not near as big as, like, your Halo or Gears of War or Grand Theft Auto. But launch day Madden is a big thing. Like, especially your football fans, they'll go purchase their game wearing their favorite NFL jersey. Like, it's almost a holiday for football fans. And Electronic Arts knows that. I mean, like I said, releasing every 2 years, I'm fine with. I personally don't feel that's overdoing it. Every single year, yes. And they've obviously got a long ways to go. Hey, we're releasing the beta, but the beta is more than a year away. I don't feel they should even brought up the beta whatsoever, but they're using it as a marketing point, and potentially those people that were like, oh, should I buy Medal of Honor? Oh, it's going to give me access in the Battlefield 4. Alright, I'll buy it. I mean, Medal of Honor...
Honestly, like, I saw this happen with Dragon's Dogma, and with Capcom, they plastered on the cover, you'll get access to the Resident Evil 6 demo. But the Resident Evil 6 demo still isn't out yet. Dragon's Dogma came out this past spring. And I believe that the Resident Evil 6 demo won't be available until, like, mid-fall. I heard it's coming out sometime in
I've already
early
played
October. Is it out now, the Resident Evil 6 demo?
I got Dragon's Dogma, and it had a code inside of it on the booklet for you to download it.
Well, yeah, but you
can't
redeem it yet.
I've played it.
You won't be able to redeem it. You've played the Resident Evil 6 demo.
Yes.
It's out now?
I played it. When I bought the game, I had the code, and I put it in, and I played it. I don't want to, like, say what it is, because I don't want to, like, spoil it, but, I mean, I could tell you. You know. If you didn't believe me, I could tell you. That kind
No,
of thing.
like, I believe you. I just heard it wasn't coming out until the fall. But, yeah, I don't
I
follow
guess
Resident
it's like
Evil.
a sneak peek if you get the game kind of thing. Try to, entice people to buy this game so they'll get that demo.
Yeah, and it's
Oh yeah, I guess it came out 2 months later, but yeah, a year,
Yeah.
a lot longer. But
Wait.
they did that with
Keep
Medal
track.
of Honor and Battlefield 3 too.
yeah. I mean, like I said, all these companies are doing it. Sony does the exact same thing. It was, what was it? You bought Infamous 2 when you got access to Uncharted 3 beta, I believe, was what it. Yeah. And they did it what was SOCOM as well, where you bought SOCOM, you got access to some. I can't remember it all, but all these companies are doing it. And I mean, I'm not necessarily saying it's a bad thing. I just thought it was kind of crazy. I'm like, okay, cool. So Battlefield 4, like there must be a beta like early next year. No, fall of 2013. I'm like, wow. But I'm looking forward to it regardless. Like they haven't really discussed much about what we can expect with Battlefield 4. But I'm sure knowing EA and DICE is going to be a pretty incredible game. And I know I'm looking forward to it. Another game I'm definitely looking forward to, though, is Grand Theft Auto 5. Like, I honestly would... And a lot of people, they're like, really? I wasn't the biggest fan of Grand Theft Auto 4. I think it was the worst of the Grand Theft Auto series. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but... Like, the online really had no purpose. I didn't feel the online... It didn't fit into the game very well. Story was alright. Gameplay mechanics could have been improved. Driving was terrible. Like, it wasn't what I was expecting. Grand Theft Auto 5, I hope Rockstar Games really turns it around. I mean, it's been over 8 months since we've seen the teaser trailer. And they haven't really said much. Until recently, they released 2 new screenshots. And one of the screenshots shows pretty much how big this world is truly going to be. And Rockstar has already said that this is going to be the biggest open world game to date. So, understanding the games that they've made, I mean, LA Noire, the whole Grand Theft Auto franchise, I mean, of course we would expect that, but it's good to hear straight from the mouths of Rockstar confirming that this will be the biggest Grand Theft Auto. And the fact that they've not showed gameplay, like they technically, yes, what they were showing was in-engine, I understand that, but I'm talking about actual gameplay where you're controlling the character. We don't really even know where the story is going to go. And they may not even say, because they said that the reason why they aren't talking about it much is they want people to be surprised when they play the game, which I completely understand. Because I hate when companies announce a game and they give you almost all the details but the ending. It's like, dude, like, why do I even want to play the game now? You told me pretty
Or
much.
they show all the best parts on like trailers and stuff.
Right. It's like it's just like it's like same thing with movie trailers. It's like for comedy. They'll show a movie trailer for a comedy. Every funny part of that movie they throw into this 1.5-minute trailer. You go to see the movie, you're only laughing.
Like Dark Shadows.
Exactly.
Oh.
Exactly. The only time you're laughing are those exact same moments that were in the commercial. I'm like, I could just watch the commercial and I'd been fine.
And sometimes I don't even put those parts in there.
Right. Yeah, it's like,
where the hell was I was watching it just for this part and then it's not there.
yeah, I hate that when they put stuff in the trailer and then it's not even in the movie. It's like, really? It's like, that's false advertisement, really, if you think about it. You're advertising,
Exactly.
This is a part of the movie, and then it comes time for the movie you go to see the movie, and it's not in there. That's false advertisement. So, I mean, I appreciate Rockstar Games in some fashion for not, because I don't want to know everything that's going on, but give us a tease. Show us at least show us some gameplay, so we kind of know what to expect.
Yeah.
I mean,
or show a story, or at least like who the character, the story, a hint of the storyline anyway.
Right, and they should be able to tell us who the protagonist is. Because at the end of the day, if they're like, oh no, we want to keep a secret, no, because the moment before that game even hits store shelves, someone's gonna get a copy early. They're gonna go on Twitter, they're gonna go on Facebook, and you're gonna find out eventually. And it's like, really? Like, I'd rather hear from Rockstar than some random person who the protagonist is going to be. I really hope they implement a lot more into the online, too, because like I said, I wasn't really that impressed with the online Grand Theft Auto 4. Some people may disagree with me. I know there's people that do disagree. Oh, but it's the first time. I don't care if it's the first time. It still sucked. To me, at least, I did not like the online at all. But I feel like they could have done so much better. When you compare Grand Theft Auto 4 to Grand Theft Autos on like the PlayStation 2 and even 1, like they just don't compare in quality to me. Honestly, like
Vice City. I love.
oh, Vice City's the best.
I know, right? It's the best ever.
Vice City was definitely the best Grand Theft Auto. I mean, I'm not saying you can't debate that, but it'd be pretty hard to debate against that. I'll put it that way, just because. Yeah, and I hope that changes. Like, I hope Grand Theft Auto 5 becomes the best Grand Theft Auto. Like, I always want a better gameplay experience, and the potential is there. The screenshots look completely amazing, but it's like, okay, this looks great, but it's like the screenshots for The Last of Us look great too. Until I see gameplay, I don't really know. And The Last of Us looks incredible. It looks incredible. They showed gameplay during E3. I got to see it in person while I was at E3. Blown away. But as good as it looks, it does not. It's close. It's very close, but it is not on the level of what they showed during their first trailer. Because their first trailer, yes, it was an engine, but it's completely different when you have a cutscene running through the engine versus you're taking control. It takes a lot more of the hardware's resources when you're in control of those things. So, I mean, Grand Theft Auto 4, honestly, didn't think it looked that great. I don't think it looked good at all. And I understand because of how large the game was, and the fact that they were able to fit that on one disc on the Xbox 360 tells me that they've compressed the hell out of it. Grand Theft Auto 5 will probably be on at least 3-4 discs for the Xbox 360. You can quote me on that. Just kind of seeing what Rockstar is doing. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Like, honestly, I would rather them do that than make the game suffer. And it's like, really, like, I understand. It also depends how you manage the whole disc swapping situation. If it's something where you've got to swap world to world, yes, that sucks. But if it's more linear, which obviously Grand Theft Auto being linear, that's not really the case, but where you'd say the first third of the story you play and then you swap discs. You complete the second third of it, you swap discs. I don't think that's too much to ask.
War, yeah.
Right. I don't think that's too much to ask. Like, seriously, like, people may complain, but it's like, are you that lazy to not get up for like 2 seconds to swap a damn disc? Like, seriously? Like, you...
Well, wait, back on the advertising subject, a really good game that knew their boundaries and their limitations on gameplay and screenshots, I think, was Assassin's Creed.
Oh,
they
yes.
They show just enough, but they don't give it away, in my opinion.
Right, yeah, because especially with Assassin's Creed 3, there's so much mystery there. Like, just the mystery, like, even if you did not like the game, like, even if you don't like the Assassin's Creed gameplay, just the fact that you want to see what happens. And it's like, when they first announced it was going to happen during the Revolutionary War, I was like, what the hell? Like, I don't see it working. But it's like, the more I've seen it, it's like, oh my god, this is like the best thing to happen to this franchise. Like, this, if done right, I think this could be the best Assassin's Creed of the franchise, which would be saying a lot. Because I hated the first Assassin's Creed. I'm not gonna lie, I hated it. It was so repetitive.
Yeah, my favorite Assassin's Creed 2. So.
Yeah, 2 is my favorite as well. The first one was so repetitive. It was just, go find this guy, kill him. Go find this guy, kill him. Yeah, go find this other guy and kill him. It's like, oh my god. Like, seriously. Like, I don't want to kill another person. Like, give me something else to do. And, like, that's one of my main complaints with, like, Infamous. Like, I love Infamous to death, but the first Infamous was too repetitive as well. Mission to mission, especially...
And killing the same guys over and over.
Yeah. And especially the bonus missions. Like, there was like, what, 4 or 5 different types of bonus missions? It's like, so it's like, I'm going to keep doing the same crap over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, you have to get this bus to this part of town like 6 different times.
Yeah, it's like, I'm good. Like, I'm not going to do that. The story was alright, but even the story got repetitive at times. At least the way I felt. Infamous 2, they managed it a whole lot better. Infamous 2, I feel, was a lot more, not necessarily
Infamous 2
linear.
I loved it.
Yeah, Infamous 2, oh my god, and the ending, we're not going to bring it up, but the ending, holy crap.
I know, right?
Oh my god. Like, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh my God, no.
Like,
No.
like, I know some people that, like, literally want to punch a hole through the wall.
Throw the TV out the window.
Yeah, if you haven't beat Infamous 2, freaking pause the podcast and beat Infamous 2 and then come back. Like, it is incredible. Especially, like, I think it's, like, relatively cheap. I think you get it for, like, $30 now. Or even if you don't have the money for that, just rent it.
That would be cool if they extended it to Xbox. I'm glad it's an exclusive because it's a really badass game, but I wish they would, like, throw it on Xbox.
I think that's Sarah snoring. Oh my god.
I thought she had fallen asleep.
She's snoring on the podcast.
Oh my god.
Another song.
Maybe we should, like, pause recording. Can someone, like, call her and wake her up?
No, I'm not gonna let this go. Oh, she stopped snoring. Damn it. Oh, crap.
Maybe she heard us.
Yeah.
She's like, what?
Waking up.
She's waking up right now. I heard her.
Oh my god.
She's like, I started dreaming of hearing people saying that I was snoring. And
Oh my god, but back on topic. If Sarah reappears, we'll welcome her back. It's late, guys. I don't blame her. Don't think she's like, no, it's 2 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast. But, and we had a long meeting beforehand, so no worries. But anyways, I mean, yeah, Grand Theft Auto 5, like I said, I'm looking forward to it. But the one question I want to ask you guys is, like, what do you guys want to see? Because, like, Grand Theft Auto, it's great, but you're kind of doing the same thing where it's like, I want to see something done differently. Like, what would you guys like to see in Grand Theft Auto that has never been done before? Personally, I would like to see strong cross-play functionality with the Vita, where when you're getting a phone call within Grand Theft Auto or whatever, you get the phone call on your Vita, you answer, you interact through your Vita, you can use your Vita as like a GPS while you're driving, like full interaction, and then pretty much implementing Grand Theft Auto into like a real world situation where, I mean, the PlayStation Vita has great location-based functionality with like near, where you can see who all is near you with the PlayStation Vita, this and that. Like, use that in a real world scenario where you can take your Vita out and like see other players that are playing Grand Theft Auto and interact within like an augmented reality sense. I think that would be awesome. But like, what are some things that you guys like to see that really hasn't been done up to this point with Grand Theft Auto?
I would really like to see, like, first off, because I have quite a bit of complaints, like, just coming off from, like, Grand Theft Auto 4. I would like to see more pedestrians, like, more individual pedestrians, instead of, twins everywhere, or, you know what I mean, right?
Right.
Like, it's
Yeah.
like the same people on the sides. And then if they put as much effort as they did into making LA Noire, using, like, the face thing going on, the 10 cameras or whatever, if they would put half that effort into doing that and working on their faces a little bit more, because in the fourth one they were kind of blocky and they didn't really show any emotion at all. So
Yeah, I can agree with that. The character models weren't that great. Like I said,
Yeah.
I wasn't impressed with graphics in general in Grand Theft Auto 4 personally. I mean, graphics aren't everything, but especially with how some of the games look today, I really hope they step it up.
I mean, I think it would be cool maybe if you had, like, the option to play as maybe more than one protagonist, maybe the same storyline, but maybe 2 or 3 different people or something like that. I don't think they've ever done anything like that, really, but...
Yeah, kind of having, like,
I don't know.
multiple stories going on. I think that'd be cool. Kind of like what they're doing with Resident Evil 6.
Oh
Like-
yeah, you have different types of protagonists while playing. It's basically like playing like 5, or say there's 3 characters. It'd be like 3/3 of games. Technically switching characters, or and going back and forth, I guess.
Right, yeah. I think that would be pretty interesting. And, like, playing both sides of the fence. Like, I think it would be cool to, like, play one character hunting the other, and you're like playing them, you kind of see what's going on behind the scenes on both ends. Like, I think that would be cool to kind of see them go a different route. I would also like them to kind of figure out a way to make online something worth playing. Because like I said, I was not really... I mean, what did you guys think about the online for Grand Theft Auto 4?
Not flexible at all. Not compared to like PlayStation 2.
Yeah, the online, I was not a fan whatsoever. I was like...
It's too difficult. Like, it's just too... I don't know. It's too... it just pisses me off. I guess that's all I could say.
Yeah, I mean, Rockstar Games, I love them to death. Max Payne 3 was incredible. If you guys not play Max Payne 3, I highly recommend it. Max Payne 3 was... I anticipated it, but it really blew me away. LA Noire was alright. A lot of people are like really obsessed with that game, and I liked it. I was like, it's okay. Yeah.
It's just I don't play online. I like the campaign, like.
Right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a good game, but like Grand Theft Auto, I love Grand Theft Auto, and there haven't really been a bad Grand Theft Auto other than like I wouldn't even consider it bad because it was just like a completely different view. I wasn't a fan of Chinatown Wars with the whole top-down view. I wasn't feeling that, but like even on the PSP, like all the Grand Theft Autos on PSP were incredible. So I'm hoping we see Grand Theft Auto appear on the Vita sometime in the future. I think that would be awesome. So, but yeah, let us know what you guys think in the comment section. Like, what do you want to see accomplished with Grand Theft Auto 5 that has not been done up to this point? Very curious to hear what you guys would have to say and hear your guys' ideas. But that pretty much concludes it for the news. Anything else anyone wants to bring up before we head into the comments and questions? Alright, so moving on to comments and questions. I put a comment saying I was going to address this, and I am going to address this now, and this will be the last time Aubrey's name is ever mentioned on this podcast unless something really changes. You're a creep, girl. Like, I'm tired of sweetening things up. You are a creep. Like, I appreciate the fact that you support the website. I appreciate the fact that you listen to what we do. I do appreciate it. Do not get me wrong. But I was doing my best to be nice to you and support you and thank you for the support you provide until you started harassing people. When you started harassing people, I was like, no, this is no longer cool. Like no one ever said anything to you, despite you coming in the comments section and asking these ridiculous off-the-wall questions that you should have known I would not answer over the air. You should have known that in the first place. That's common sense. You don't talk about that stuff, especially on a podcast where other people are listening to what you're saying. At least I would hope that would appear to be common sense. At least that's the type of guy I am. Can't comment on other people out there, but it's not something I bring up. And people in these comment section, Jenny never said anything negative about you, yet you're going to go out and you're going to call her a creep and like try to put her down? I'm like, wait.
Yeah, she actually said the words no comment. Like, she really didn't say anything. She even said she didn't say anything.
Right. It's like, you are calling Jenny a creep. I'm lost. I am honestly lost with what your definition of creep means, because yes, Jenny had her one comment that I'm not gonna lie, it kind of was like, wow, this girl, she's weird as hell. But she's changed since then, whereas you consistently come back with your shit. And you put out this video. I'm not saying anything was wrong with your video. If you'd have just posted the video in the comments section and called it a day, alright, cool. I appreciate you taking the time to put that video there. But at the end of the day, it's like, how are you one thing I'll not tolerate is harassment. I will not tolerate that. I've been managing the site for over 4 years. How many people have I ever banned from the comment section? I've banned one. I'm very relaxed when it comes to that. I let people pretty much say whatever they want to talk about. I don't censor anything that's posted in the comments section. I very rarely, I would say in the past 4 years, I've maybe deleted 3 to 4 comments. Maybe. And I've only had to ban one single person. But I will say this right now. I'm not banning you right now. I'm not. Like I said, I appreciate the support you have. I don't support what you're doing, but if you continue and you harass one other person or you try to put one other person down, I will ban the IP address and you will not be able to comment on the site anymore. And if you think you're smart and think that you could just go connect to another internet service, well, guess what? I'll just ban that IP address. And if you literally take the time to go to other people's houses just to comment, you obviously have no life. And I'll just continuously ban the IP. And if you think you can hide behind it, no. An IP address, I can pull up a lot of stuff. And I just wanted to address that because that's one thing I cannot stand is we have Jenny, who is one of our most loyal supporters. She's been with us since January when the CES coverage began. And then you're going to have the nerve to call her out. And I feel the reason you even called her out in the first place is because she's another female. There's nothing she ever said to you for you to ever try to engage in negative conversation with her. She did nothing to you. You are the one that engaged that. And I see it. I don't respect that whatsoever. And yet again, I'm giving you another chance. One more chance, though. If you can slim things out and you apologize to Jenny and you just support what we do, we will be fine. But if you consistently continue to do what you've been doing, you're not going to have a presence on the site anymore. It's not worth having people. I mean, we appeal come to the site. You got to think about it this way. Someone comes to the site. They listen to the podcast for the very first time. They go through the comment section, not knowing the past, and they see this random video of this girl professing her love. Like, I don't know how you can profess your love for me. You have not met me face to face. You've never even talked to me. You know nothing about me besides what you've seen on the website. So you're telling me you have fallen in love with me because you see a couple videos on the site? We've never even talked. Like, I could be the complete douche. You don't. I'm not. But you would never know that, and you're just. It's really weird, and it's really concerning. And
it's not a natural way to pursue someone. It's a little creepy, you know. Anyone would be put off by it. I would.
Right.
I mean, just putting it out there. I mean.
Right, and then you
I
put
agree.
a comment. It was either this week or last week or whatever. And you said something along the lines of, well, I look forward to meeting you. To be honest with you, unless you change, I don't want to meet you. Like, I don't know. Like I said, I tried, and you continued and continued. And then when you started harassing people, I was like, I'm done. I am done. I'm going to lay this out one more time. After this, you continue. Done. You will be done. So I just wanted to address that really quickly. I'm not trying to act like I'm a hard ass or anything like that, but I'm just putting it out there in the way it is. Jenny, you don't deserve to be. No one deserves to be talked to like that. And I will step in and do what I need to do. Need it be. So I hope I made it clear this time. Maybe me being too nice confused you. That's the only thing I think of. And if I confused you, I apologize. But I can't. I don't really know how I can be more blunt and honest with you than what I've said. So, and if you're here just to get your name out there and get your attention, well, congratulations, you've got it. Like I said, this will be the last time your name is brought up. And if you ask any questions, they will not be answered on the show. Unless you can prove to us that you are a fan of the site and you care about us as what we're doing in the industry rather than what we do in our personal lives. Which, like I said, I don't have a necessarily problem sharing some personal things, but you went beyond personal, and I will not discuss it. So that's all I had to say. I hope I addressed it. Like I said, I did not mean to offend anyone if I offended anyone, but I did want to put that out there. So, with that said, let's move on to the questions. So, I'm going to hand it over to Danielle, ask the questions, and we'll answer.
Okay, we have one from JJB1981, and it says, "Where do you all see yourselves in 10 years?"
Oh, God, wow. Oh, honestly.
Hopefully somewhere good.
Oh, honestly, like, it should really be, where do you see yourself in a year? Like, I honestly don't know. Like, that's a really crazy question, because honestly, like, I think you're kind of asking in a way from, like, the site perspective and, like, moving up in the gaming industry. That's how I'm going to answer anyways. Like, when I started this site 4 years ago, I would not have envisioned anything that's taken. Now I'm taking part in now. Like, I would not have envisioned have been to E3 as many times as I have, been to CES, having these big multi-million-dollar companies sponsor us. Like, that, like, would seem absurd to me. Some of the other things I've done and other things that are going on behind the scenes, like, I mean, there's many times I wake up and I'm like, dude, I can't believe I'm doing this right now. So it's like, you're asking me 10 years? I honestly don't know. Where would I like to see myself in 10 years? I mean, I would like to see, I would like to see the Gamer Access as a very successful website with our office and making a living off the industry and establishing the brand community, and really not having to worry about, hey, is everyone gonna be able to get to the next event? Like, that's our job, and we have our expenses covered and enjoying doing what we do. Like, that's what I would like to see in 10 years, and I'm working to make that happen. But I mean, oh my God,
Sarah would like to see herself asleep in 10 years.
Maybe exactly 10 years
That's
from
her
now.
answer.
Yeah, 10 years from now I'll be sleeping. Nah, but
That's how she feels about that.
I'll also currently, if you guys don't know, I live in Raleigh, North Carolina. I mean, hopefully, like, even, God, I hope it's less than 10 years. Less than 10 years, I hope to live in around the Los Angeles area in California. My dream location up to this point is Santa Monica. Every time I've went out to LA, I always visit Santa Monica. Like, that is my city. It's gorgeous there. They've got perfect weather. They've got best beaches.
I just woke up.
Yeah, we noticed. We got you snoring too. I'm gonna have fun with your intro. The intro is gonna be
Wait,
fun.
what?
Oh, you were snoring during the podcast, and I've got.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, you were.
Oh, yeah, you were.
Ladies, please back me up here. Please.
You really were.
Yeah,
Hilarious.
safe to say you were knocked out.
Oh my God.
Then we heard you, like, roll over, like, a bunch. We thought you were up, but you weren't.
Oh my God.
This intro is gonna be fun. Oh, I can't wait for this.
I'm just gonna go to sleep now.
You already did.
So funny.
But anyway.
Whatever.
But yeah, that was totally unscripted there. She just woke up out of the blue. But yeah, like I would like to see myself living around the Santa Monica area, and that's where I'd like
Bye.
Bye.
Peace out. Wow, and that is Sarah Jefferson, ladies and gentlemen.
She sounded real mad at me. I was in season.
Add an applause track.
But
I'm grumpy when I wake up too, though.
But yeah, that's where I'd
Me too.
ultimately like to. That's where I would like to live, and I mean, yeah, that's. But other than that, like, what I expect in 10 years is probably gonna be completely different from what actually happens. You never know. Like, when I was younger, my whole focus was on sports, and like it took a 360-degree turn. Like, if you had asked me just 6 years ago what I would have been doing, I'd have been playing college baseball. Like, completely different. So, Cammy, you're funny. Ha, 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 ha.
I like your 360-degree turn there now.
You know what I meant.
I know.
But
Too easy.
180 degree. There you go.
There you go.
But yeah, that's my answer to where I see myself in 10 years. I honestly have no clue. I can answer what I expect, but I mean what I want, but I honestly have no clue. What about you guys?
We all have to survive December 21st. Ooh,
Yeah. Happen.
Apocalypse.
I'm
kidding.
in school, and this is one of a lot of the things that I do, but I want to have my PhD.
Uh-oh.
That's the thing.
Uh-oh, rocking the
PhD, yeah.
PhD.
Yeah, you guys could refer to me as the doctor from then on out.
Oh, God. Oh, I can see it now. She gets her PhD, and we call her, like, Miss or Mrs. No, it's a doctor. Get it straight.
Snap,
Yeah,
snap, snap.
so I don't know, either in English or history. I'm a double major for my bachelor's degree right now, but I'm gonna have to pick one over the next year or so. I'm about to graduate in a couple years. It'll be a couple years now that I tacked on that second major. But yeah, hopefully, PhD or somewhere, successful working in the gaming industry. That's, plan B. Work towards both, see what pans out.
There you go. Bridget,
Whatever
Danielle?
pays the bills.
I pretty much agree with everyone.
Like, I just hope to see myself living, somewhat successful. Like, just, by the gaming industry. That's just about it.
Yeah.
At least somewhere good.
Yeah,
Alive.
I hope that's the case with everyone. Well, we'll see how things go, but
Never know what tomorrow holds.
yeah, you are not kidding. On to the next question.
Okay, let's see. There's just a lot of comments this time. There's really hardly any question. All right. If you guys had a TGA office where you all worked, where would it be located and why? And this is from Jay Sway.
Honestly, I would probably have it in Santa Monica, not just because that's my favorite city, but because of the fact that it's in the Los Angeles area, and I would say probably 80 to 85% of the companies that we would be doing business with are around the Los Angeles area. You do have those exceptions, like you have Microsoft, who's based in Seattle. But then you have like Sony, like you have Sony Santa Monica, Sony San Diego, like all within that vicinity. I mean, you've got Ubisoft out there, you've got Square Enix out there. You have a ton of companies, and then you got like all these broadcasting networks. That's where like entertainment is born, is in that Los Angeles area. So that's where I would see it. I don't really see any other, like San Diego would be anywhere within that Los Angeles area, where it's Los Angeles, Santa Monica, San Diego. Like, but outside of that, like if I had to go with anything outside of California, that would be difficult. I would probably go with Seattle at that point, because Seattle's the next big, really attraction for that type of work. But by the long run, definitely Los Angeles is where I'd like to have it. Plus, I love it out there. Like, I love going to LA. Like that, like just visiting there, just the scenery. That's where I want to be. So, and that's just, like I said, it's not just because of what I like there. It's because it would make sense as far as a business goes. Because I'm always the type of person where I'd prefer to work with someone face to face, if possible. I mean, if you can't work face to face, you work over the phone. If you can't work over the phone, you work over email, which sucks. So if you're able to build a face-to-face relationship with these people, it makes business deals so much easier. It allows things to flow much easier. So that's where I'd like to have it.
All right, this is question 2 out of 4 from Jay Sway. Nick, what is all involved within producing your shows and recent videos? By the way, keep it up.
Okay, so with the show and the videos, there's actually a lot of stuff that kind of goes behind. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, your show is only 6-7 minutes. Yeah, it's 6-7 minutes after 10 to 15 hours of work. because pretty much you gotta understand, I'm not, like I said, I'm not making money, a considerable amount of money from this to where I have my own studio or anything like that. So I've got to first put my script together, find the news, find how I'm gonna present the news, because I don't want to present it the way everyone else is. So I got to find a unique way to present the news, put my script together, get that all set, and then I have to put my set together. I mean, my room, I pretty much have my green screens. If you guys, I mean, anyone that watches my show has seen that, like, my production quality is a lot different than other people, whether against a white wall or you see posters. Like, I don't have that. I have like a virtual news set because I have green screen implemented. I have a lighting system. Obviously, I live I still live here. Like, I don't have a dedicated filming studio that I can go to. Like, I live here, so obviously I don't have lights and green screen and stuff like that always hanging up. I don't want to live in that. So I set it up, have to do the recording, and then take all the stuff down, put it back, and then editing. Like, editing, I wouldn't necessarily say it sucks. I don't mind doing it, but that 6 to 7 minute show you see, it takes a good 4 to 5 hours to edit. Because you understand, I've got to implement the virtual news set. I've got to find the video clips. I've got to make sure they sync with what I'm talking about at the time. I have to resize the videos. I have to implement transitions, and I mean, it takes time. So I don't mind doing it. I love doing it. That's why I've continuously done it for over 4 years. But there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, and I mean, one of these days I've thought about it, putting it like a behind the scenes video of like what all's involved with my show. Obviously, it wouldn't be in real time because you don't want to watch a 10-minute video, a 10-hour video, but kind of cut it down in little bits just so you can kind of see what all's involved. And same thing with like an event. Like an event, there's so much that goes on with planning and when you actually get there. Because yes, what you see on camera, it's like, okay, everything seems smooth and you're just going there, recording an interview. It's like, yeah, but the stuff that you don't see on camera is how I got what you do see on video. So there's a lot that goes on. And then, I mean, there's times that, oh God, I'm tired. I don't want to do this, but I got to get the show out. Like, that's just, you got to make sacrifices too. So, but yeah, hopefully I can, I'll make something in the future so you guys can get a better idea, but I definitely love doing it, especially knowing we got fans like you that watch what we do, listen to what we do. It makes it all worth it. So.
Alright, his next question is, what is the next Vita game you guys are looking forward to?
PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. That's mine.
Persona for the Golden.
I'm not into Vita or anything, so
I'm not really a Vita user. Was the next Dissidia going to be on Vita? I don't remember.
Dissidia, don't know.
They haven't announced one yet, but they'd probably have to release another Final Fantasy before they released another Dissidia.
If I had to pick one that I wish that was on Xbox that's a Vita game or is coming out on Vita, honestly, I'm not sure about either, but no, I forgot it. Never mind. Alright. I'll tell you guys in a minute. It'll come back.
Yeah, okay. I mean...
Yeah, I think, we were talking about before the podcast, but I'm buying the Assassin's Creed Liberation bundle, the white $250 bundle that comes with that game, so that'll be one of the first games I'm playing, but what's coming out before that I'm getting, I need to get Persona 4 the Golden. It's a remake of like one of my all-time favorite games ever, and Bronson would agree with me if he were here.
Yeah, I'm interested in the new Assassin's Creed. Like the fact that there's going to be a female protagonist, I think that'll be interesting. Like I want to see where they take the story with that. So the Assassin's Creed, I'm definitely looking forward to. Believe it or not, I am actually interested in seeing how well Call of Duty turns out on the Vita. Yes, it's the same thing on PS3 and Xbox. I know, but I want to see what this Black Ops Declassified is all about. How well is it going to utilize the PlayStation Vita? How well is the online going to be implemented? I really hope it's not scaled down. I hope it's a full Call of Duty experience on the Vita, and it's not some scaled down, crappy online with like 2 game modes and 4-hour story. I hope that's not the case, and it kind of has me concerned because during their E3 press conference, all they showed was a logo. They're like, okay, yeah, Call of Duty Black Ops Declassified. It's coming out this holiday season, and we've got to show you a logo. Next topic, it's like, if the game is like Sony, do you understand how much of an impact Call of Duty could have on the PlayStation Vita platform, yet you don't show anything? That concerns me. But I'm looking forward to PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, though, especially with its cross-play functionality with the PS3. I think that's going to be a blast. So...
All right, number 4 question of his is, outside PAX Prime, what other events are you all planning to attend?
I mean, I would love to get us out to every single event. Which ones I'm planning to attend outside of PAX Prime? Megan plans to attend the possibly New York Comic Con. Don't quote me on that. That's still in discussion. I'm making plans to attend the Spike VGAs. That would be a blast, and I've got invited to that. CES, I'll definitely be going to CES. Love Vegas, so I'll definitely be going to CES. And then it'll probably be like a repeat of what I've done this year. PAX East, E3, and then continue on from there. My ultimate goal, like as far as events I would love to attend, I'd love to go to a gamescom in Germany. I think that would be a blast. I'd love to go to a Tokyo Game Show. I think that would be incredible. Don't have plans for that this year unless something came up the very last minute, which would be incredible. But priority right now is getting the whole staff to PAX Prime, which, if we're able to work sponsorship, we can make happen. But PAX Prime is going to be the first event, and after that, I would say, if possible, it'd be cool to get us all to go to the Spike VGAs or the New York Comic Con, but after PAX Prime, there really aren't any big events in the United States, anyways, until you hit CES, which that would definitely be awesome to get us all out to. But I mean, what do you guys like? What I know some of you guys are planning to go to events in the near future, so let the audience know.
Just maybe CES and E3. Those are the ones I really want to go to.
CES and E3, yes, those are my 2 favorite events.
This weekend I'm going to be going to a local Oklahoma kind of, show called Tokyo in Tulsa, but that's all I have planned so far.
Yeah, I'm going on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
All right. I'd love to be going to PAX Prime with the staff, but I do have some other events that are lined up that I'm definitely going to go to. I will be attending Wizard World Chicago next month in August, and also Kevin Ferreira's current project is a new nerd meetup called Lead Up, and there's podcast recordings and stuff, and a lot of nerd personalities showing up and things like that. And it's basically a huge geek party, and they're doing events in Madison and Chicago, and hopefully I will have some information on that. I can write an article for you guys about it so you guys can hear all about it, and hopefully I will be attending both of those events, but I will definitely be at least one of them.
I mean, my schedule is always open, but
The almighty dollar, honestly, is what it all comes down to for most of us. I'm sure all of us would love to go to all these events, but if you do not have the financial support coming in to go to it, it kind of makes it difficult at times. So, I mean, if we were able to be sponsored for every event, you better believe I'd be at every single event out there, because going to these events, it's something you can't put into words. Your first E3, you'll never forget it. Your first CES, your first PAX, you'll never forget it. And then just the overall experience, it's something you can't put into words. I'm not even going to try, because it's just an experience that you have to actually take part in to kind of understand why. Because, I mean, before I went to E3 for my first time, people talk about, oh, it's so much better than what you watch on TV, and I'm like, yeah. I'm like, dude, you're going there and you'll see people, but when I go there, it's a completely different vibe. And then after the show floor closes, you would think like stuff would slow down. It's like, no, like the show floor is like the pre-show to what you're going to be doing the rest of the day. It's because the show floor usually closes at 5, 6 o'clock, and there's stuff going on the rest of the night until like 2, 3 in the morning. That's why you generally don't get much sleep, because you're at the convention center like 10 o'clock in the morning. You're usually working until about 5 o'clock. You maybe get back to the room for an hour or two. You go out. You don't get back to your room till 1 or 2 in the morning, and then you have to be up early in the morning. So you generally don't get much sleep during these events. But that's what makes it fun, and they're a blast. That's another thing I'd like to do in the future is, once everything's where I want it to be, is to have like some of our more dedicated fans actually be able to bring them out to an event with us, like a Jay Sway or Jenny or someone like that. Bring them out to like a PAX or an E3 or whatever and let them experience it. Because trust me, you'd be blown away. And I'm so happy that I've had the opportunity to experience it, because I know there's so many people that want to do it and they'll never do it once in their life. And it's sad, like it sucks, because it's so awesome. But yeah. So next event, I'll definitely be at PAX Prime regardless. Like I'll be there 100% sure. But I really don't want it to be a repeat of E3 where I'm the only one from the site that's there. So I and a couple other people on the staff are working hard on making sure we get as many people out there as possible. So stay tuned, and as soon as we hear anything, you guys will know. Trust me, you will know. So just keep supporting us, and we're going to work hard to provide as much content as possible for you guys.
Okay, this last one is actually more of a comment. He says it is Rambo91. He thinks that you, Nick, can pull off Nico Bellic. And he also says, Nick, I saw you at the dance-off and HHG on YouTube.
Oh my god, no.
You got your ass kicked, so you gotta step up your game this time.
No, why was that brought up? Oh, dude, I have a winning record with Dance Central, and you're gonna freaking break, like, come on, man. I'm 4-1 at these events. I did lose to, his name's Hip Hop Gamer. I did lose to him, but come on, dude, you gotta give me a break. You guys have got to keep in mind I'm white. he's not, like, that's not even racial. That's not even racist. That's just the truth. Like, I'm white, and I'm not gonna say I don't got no rhythm, but yeah, you gotta give me some brownie points. Like, I did get beat, but hey, everyone else I've competed with I beat, so that's fine. And Nico Bellic, yeah, you say that, I just can't. I don't know, man. I definitely couldn't pull off the accent. Like, voice acting, not too good at. The look, I don't know. I mean, I've never really grew out my facial hair like that, but, I mean, I can't comment fully on it because I haven't tried it, but if you think so, man, who knows? But, yeah, definitely appreciate your comments. I was reading through, and you said that you wish Sarah and Bronson would fight longer. I thought that was hilarious. I thought that was hilarious. But trust me, next time they're on, I'm sure you'll have your fair share of Sarah and Bronson chewing each other's throats out. I'm sure it's coming. You just gotta wait, man.
The saga continues.
Yeah, the saga continues. So, yeah, but that pretty much concludes Unscripted Access episode number 15. Is there anything else anyone wants to bring up before we close it out?
Not that I can think.
Alright, so like I said, that concludes the show. Please comment in the comment section with your thoughts, questions. We didn't get too many questions this week. We got a decent chunk of comments, which are also appreciated, but any type of questions you guys have, any types of questions that you guys want answered, when I say any, please don't take that too literal. You know what I'm talking about. But
try to stick to gaming or entertainment.
Yeah, and like I said,
or if you guys want to start a fan club for snoring, That might be acceptable as well.
Yeah, look forward.
Merefecta.
Yeah, by now you would have heard the intro. I know I'm a beast, and Sarah's hating me and hating my guts right now. But but she loves me at the end of the day. So thank you guys for listening. Check back next week for another episode of Unscripted Access. We are out.
Peace out.
Later.
Bye.